should Giannis stay with Milwaukee after the offseason moves that they have made?
Is it Milwaukee or Milwaukee? Did you say Milwaukee?
I love the way you say
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
you say Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, I don't know. I don't know how it is. That's how I pronounce it.
I don't know. That's how you say it, though.
So I'll just say the Bucks. Should he stay with the Bucks? I'll go first.
You want to hear something funny, actually, before you start? Supposedly, the Bucks city design, when it got leaked earlier in the year, was supposed to have a Greek marble design inside the numbers.
God. Yeah, they want him to stay back.
And when they dropped it, like this past week, it did not have that design anymore. So either they feel very confident he's coming back or not confident at all that he's coming back.
Sources are telling me Danny Ainge was holding out the assets to potentially land PJ Tucker.
But go ahead. I just thought that was a funny tidbit.
I think it really depends. I think this is a make or break year for the Bucks and Giannis. And it sucks because he's a free agent next year. And it sucks because they probably won't be able to trade him and get anything in return. But this year they went all in. I mean, Drew Holiday, you brought in DJ Augustine as well,
Craig.
Bobby Portis, Torrey Craig, Brian Forbes, who's a really great three-point shooter. And you still have Middleton, Lopez, DiVincenzo. So this team is good enough on paper to win the championship, or if not, get to the championship. And this is the last straw for the Bucks. If they don't win here, I think Giannis leaves. And the Bucks know that, which is why they mortgaged their whole future by trading away all those draft picks to the Pelicans for Drew Holiday. And it just sucks because if they don't win this year, Giannis, I mean, why would you stay in Milwaukee? They don't have any cap space to get better. They don't have any assets to trade for another player, a star player, and they have no draft picks to get better through the draft. They're basically going to be stuck. And I saw the interview of him talking about LeBron James, basically praising him that he's still the best player in the world, which we all knew. But he's saying that Giannis is the guy who wants to be remembered for winning championships. He wants to win a championship. And if he can't win in Milwaukee, he's going to leave. And I think they're not going to win this year, so he's probably going to leave.
I'll say this, the Bucks front office had to be shaking in their boots watching that interview because he essentially said I would be perfectly fine taking a backseat role as long as I win a championship. And they are not getting a second star to come to Milwaukee, so.
The way I took that interview is I look at stuff like this. I look at it as I look at it as how do you want to be remembered in NBA history? Do you want to be remembered like a Dirk, winning a championship for that one city? Do you want to be remembered like a Kobe, staying forever no matter how much went through it? Or do you want to be remembered like a LeBron, like a Shaq, like going to different teams, winning chips with it? Like, how do you want to be remembered in history? And I feel like the Bucks this year, I'm pretty high on them. I think they have the tools to win the chip. I think we can all say on paper, they look like they can definitely make a run for their money and win the chip. With Drew Holiday, you got them boys out there. So I think, in a sense, he's talking about he wants to play, like he's willing to take a backseat to LeBron and Kevin Durant. But I feel like he's discrediting his own talent. I don't think he needs to take a backseat.
He is one of those guys.
Yeah, I think he is one. He can be one of those guys that you take a backseat to him. And I think him trying to play with them is only gonna put a asterisk on the title he wins. I feel like he should go to like a Miami and Jimmy Butler takes the backseat to him, or he should go to like a place like that. Yeah, Toronto, and that would be whoa. I didn't even think about that before, but that would be a really great place, him and Pascal. But I think, like, how do you want to be remembered in history? He wants to be remembered for winning championships, but we all know this from the Kevin Durant experience and the Steph Curry experience and the LeBron and D-Wade and Miami experience. We remember championships differently, and we put asterisks on a lot of championships. I think the only respectable championship we really put high in that mark is 2011 with Dirk. That's what we think, like, that's one of the most respected championships in our era. So it's just about how does he want to be remembered in history, honestly.
I hate this topic because I remember I hate a lot of topics. I just hate talking about this because I feel like I'm going to contradict myself because I look back at...
We'll help you, don't worry.
I look back at when Gordon Hayward left Utah, and it was like, damn, they did everything they could to retain him. Like, they brought in talent to surround him. They trusted him, drafting him. Like, they developed him. He grew so much there. What more can they do? And it just seemed like at that point, a small market can never win in the NBA because if you draft low, you play bad basketball, you draft high, and you get a superstar, you develop him, and then their rookie contract comes up and they go to a big market. And that's just the cycle. And I said when Gordon Hayward left, I was like, why don't any of these guys want to stay and like make their own mark on things? But then you look at it, and I give Milwaukee a lot of credit for doing what they've done. You know, they have Chris Middleton, who's a nice number 2 for him, I guess. They went out, they sold the farm for Drew Holiday. They're doing everything they can in Milwaukee to give him a supporting cast. But when you look at it, so that's why in like a fairy tale, I say, yes, Giannis, there is no question you should stay. Like, this is your home. They're doing everything for you. They love you. Like, you belong there. You should stay. It's the morally right thing to do.
You should talk to him.
You know what I'm saying?
You should
like,
definitely talk to Giannis.
Morally, it's 100% what you should do. But then you look at it from a basketball standpoint, and is he really going to win a championship there? Like, he needs to take his game to another level if he wants to do that, because nobody's coming to help him, especially with the cap situation they're in with Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. I think Lopez has a pretty big contract. Like, they got some big contracts on the books. Nobody's coming to his rescue. Like, it's on him at this point. And if he really wants to go out and maximize his opportunity for a championship, it would make more sense from a strictly basketball soulless standpoint to do what Anthony Davis did, get out of town as fast as he can, and go to a bigger market. Go to somewhere, even if it is Miami or Toronto, somewhere where they have a better core in place. And even Toronto and Miami are more attractive free agent destinations. So that would give him a better chance to win a championship. But if I was in the position, and I get it, I never will be, and I can't speak towards what it must feel like, but like, I can't help but feel like I would want to stay in Milwaukee. Like, look at what they've done for you. I just feel like it's such a backstab to leave.
Tissue in here. Gotta wipe my eyes.
Because here's the thing, like, a lot of people will compare it to LeBron, but when you look at what Cleveland did for Dan Gilbert was a horrible executive. They did nothing to retain him.
He came back, though.
They brought in Antoine Jameson, Shaquille O'Neal.
At those times.
The only way they ever brought in talent was him leaving and giving him a wake-up call and a smack in the face, and they ended up getting lucky with Kyrie Irving, and then they went out and traded for Kevin Love.
Williams was good. Delonte West was good.
Come on.
They were the favorites.
Come on,
man. You're crazy.
Why were they the favorites? Because LeBron James.
But look,
they never brought in talent to surround him. Milwaukee has not done that. They haven't sat on their hands. I just want to
say something really
quick. They've brought in talent. They've tried their best.
I want to say something about from a strictly basketball perspective, he also has to look in the mirror. He has no jump shot. His jump shot is completely broke, and that also limits their offense because of his lack of skills in a sense. He is very dominant. He's he probably is the most dominant player in the A, but his limitations on offense are also, from a basketball perspective, are one of the reasons why they also do lose. Because yes, he does.
You're 100%.
Yes, he does put it all on the floor, and he does need some help too. But his limitations are also what's holding him back too. So you got to also look at yourself in the mirror as well as the front office. The front office just did their job. So now you got to do your job, like you said, and you got to go out there and you got to improve as a player too.
And you know, you're right. On paper, they got the talent to try go and make a run at the chip. I mean, they have Drew Holiday, one of the best defenders in the NBA. They have Chris Middleton, who's a good sidekick. They have the all-time leading scorer in Nets history in Brook Lopez, who, you know what he gives you on the defensive end and with a three-point shot. Giannis, Brian Forbes, a good shooter. So they can make a run. It really just depends on him improving his game, like you said. But I really think that this year is do or die for Milwaukee. And I think they're not going to do and they're going to die. And Giannis is leaving.
If he was going to stay in Milwaukee, like if he was dead set on staying in Milwaukee, and I think if they win a championship, it changes the discussion, but if he was dead set on staying there, he would have signed an extension already. We're a week away from training camps. Unless something unexpected happens, LeBron has signed, AD has signed,
AD has signed.
No, I just said AD has signed.
I think AD was waiting.
LeBron got an extension, and AD signing that 5-year extension and them extending LeBron also signals
they're staying together.
Yeah, so and another aspect of looking at it is it's got to kind of not be a smack in the face, but it's got to hurt for Giannis to see Milwaukee struggle and scrape these picks together to go get Drew Holiday, who Drew Holiday is a very good player, but is he even an all-star talent?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so at a bottom of the barrel all-star talent. Like out of all-star
I
talents,
think
he's
he
not.
can give Kemba a run for his money, though.
Okay,
in a
okay.
series.
That's what I would also have Kemba in that category. Like, look at what they just had to do to put together a package to get Drew Holiday. And the Lakers literally snapped their fingers and got Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol. Coming off a championship, they reloaded like it was nothing.
I mean, if we're being honest, though, the Bucks are probably going to have 3 All-Stars and Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton,
All-Stars
and
be a
Giannis
type
this year.
players, yeah. Well, 1 superstar, 2 All-Stars.
2 All-Stars. So I think that's good enough.
I think
No, but I'm saying in a sense of look at how easy teams like the Lakers get talent. It takes nothing for them to bring
But they
in
got
talent,
Schroeder
though.
because of a trade.
it was that
And-
easy.
and
though.
Harrell-
That trade was pretty easy.
And Dennis Schroeder seemed very happy to be going out.
No, yeah, but
I thought he wanted to
Montrezl
stay in
Harrell took
OKC.
he said that, but Montrezl Harrell
yeah, but
took
they
a
gave
pay
they
cut
gave
to
up
go to
they
the
gave up a
Lakers.
first to get Schroeder.
I'm under the belief.
And that's all OKC. You know, they just traded with them in the perfect time.
I just feel like small market teams, and I feel bad for them essentially because they're never gonna get that, that over the top. They're never gonna be able to keep those players because of the big market teams. But I do hope Giannis stays because if he does stay, it will create more, great teams in the East, and it'll keep the Bucks in contention. But he's probably gonna leave.
And I think it would just start to change the way free agents look at the decision because the last 2 really big ones have been LeBron, who left Cleveland. Well, LeBron twice. He left twice. And Kevin Durant, who left Oklahoma City and then left Golden State. So it's been like hopping around from city to city, and Giannis staying would be a nice reminder. Some guys want to stay somewhere and make a place their home. I think that's an important thing to have in your league. And I think that Giannis would be a good guy too.
I just look back at Dirk's career, and he blew 3-1 leads. He was an MVP, lost in the first round. Like, he went through trials and tribulations, but never left, never gave up. And I just feel like Giannis, sometimes these guys are just giving up a little too quickly. Like, Giannis is only 25, 26.
Yeah, he
but
can
he's still
be that
young.
guy.
Yeah, and
too.
if he gets a jump shot, God, they don't need much help.
And it's not like he was a horrible jump shooter last year. Like, he was slightly
Three-point
below
shooter?
average.
what are you talking about? Your jump shot in general?
From 3 last year, Giannis was slightly below average.
I
He was not
think he was
not a
bad.
terrible jump shooter.
I think when it mattered,
percentage?
he was bad.
Wait,
When
what's his
yeah,
percentage?
yeah,
what's
of
his
course.
percentage from 3?
I believe he shot a little bit above 30%.
What's his volume? I
Hold
feel like
on,
when it mattered,
I'll
he
find
was
the number.
just horrible.
And that's what I'm saying. When it mattered, he was horrible because he didn't shoot them. He didn't want to shoot them. But I'm saying I think he has the ability
He gives me Westbrook energy.
to have a jump shot. Last year from 3, he shot 30%. It's not great. It's below.
What
it's
volume?
slightly
What volume?
below average. He shot almost 5 threes a game. So
makes
he was
one.
shooting them.
1 or 2, give or take. Yeah, he has to get better at that.
30% is not a terrible number.
What's his free throws?
Oh, he's a bad free throw shooter.
See, so a
60,
combination.
63%.
Yeah.
But LeBron's a bad free throw shooter. And
LeBron's an average free throw shooter. It's like shoots 70%.
Yeah, Giannis is 63%.
No, yeah,
It's not like
63.
he's that
That's
far
an
off.
F.
It's a
It's
bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad number. Especially when he's shooting, 10 free throws a game.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a good number.
Yeah,
So-
okay, I get what you're saying.
But
he has to get better.
but he has, there's a basis there to build off of. It's not like he's Ben Simmons, never made a 3 in a real NBA game. Like, he's got a basis. He's a hard worker. It's there for him. I don't see any reason he can't become at least an average jump shooter.
I think the fact that he wants to be
It's
take
a
a back
mental
seat.
thing.
I think the fact that
It's
he
a
wants to take
mental
a
thing.
back seat really makes me look at him as a different player because no player with that caliber of talent should want to take a back seat. Shaq never wanted to take a back seat to Kobe. Kobe never wanted to take a back seat to Shaq. D Wade, his first year with LeBron, didn't want to take a back seat until he realized he wasn't healthy enough. So
I
it's
guess I just think that players now have more self-awareness, and I guess they're not as egotistical and arrogant as players back then.
or they're taking the easy route.
Not
to
really,
winning
because
championship. Kevin Durant took the easy route.
every great player's done it. Like you look at the top 5 players in the league right now.
Steph Curry-
AD did it for LeBron.
But
LeBron
AD's
did
was
it.
different. The Pelicans were horrible, and they were never in a title picture. The Bucks have been in the title picture for 2 years straight. LeBron and Cleveland.
Okay, but I'm
that's
just
a fair
saying. I'm just
assessment.
saying that. You
And the
talk
Pelicans were also
about
in the
Curry.
West.
You talk about Curry, but Curry's never had to make that decision because his organization wasn't dysfunctional.
Yeah, that also comes. Organization problems also come into play too. But the organization and Curry built themselves up from the ground up. They built together just the same with the Bucks and this organization. They build themselves up.
Yeah, the only
from
difference
ground.
is that the Warriors drafted the best shooter of all time.
You didn't know he was going to be the
Or the
best
second
shooter.
best shooter of all
but
time in Clay.
But they
Wait, do we
developed
knew
at the
Steph
same
was going to be
pace.
the MVP? No, we didn't.
No, we didn't, but I'm just saying.
I think the case is Golden State brought in Klay Thompson, who's the greatest shooter. Didn't bring him in. They had Klay Thompson, who's the second greatest shooter of all time. Like, they also had Draymond. They brought in KD.
Draymond. I mean,
like,
the
They
Warriors
brought in
are
Iggy first.
The
though.
Warriors were the
Yeah.
perfect situation of draft well, and it happens. In Milwaukee,
But I'm just saying, you said Curry, and he was never put in that position. Other star players are put in where they are the main guy. They have no help for the most part, and they know they can't get over the hump unless they leave.
As much as I give Milwaukee credit for trying, like, is that the best they can do? Is Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday? Like, that's really good, but it's not the Lakers going out and getting Anthony Davis. What other superstar is going to want to go to Milwaukee? It would never happen that way. If Giannis ever asked a guy to come play in Milwaukee, the conversation would shift to let's go team up and play somewhere else because nobody wants to go to Milwaukee, no offense. It's just not a big market. It's not Miami. It's not a glamorous place to be. So as much as I give Milwaukee credit for trying, it's just a difficult place. There's not this great history there like the Packers. Like, Green Bay isn't a very flashy destination, but the Packers are one of the greatest franchises ever. So people are going to want to play for them.
No, people don't go to play for Green Bay.
I think football is a little different though.
No, they don't. They don't get free agents though. They don't get free agents.
You get what I'm saying though. Like, Milwaukee doesn't have that history. They don't have that flashy name.
But even the Packers don't get free agents though. Yeah, they don't get free agents. They're known to be very stingy in free agency. They don't get free agents.
Well, I think that's more the Packers than people not wanting to go to the Packers.
No, it's just like you said, Wisconsin, Green Bay, Milwaukee. It's not a desirable destination. So small markets will always be at a disadvantage when it comes to getting.
Green Bay isn't a small market though.
Yeah, it is.
Really? You think so?
If you look at the top TV markets in the country right now, Green Bay is like.
I was thinking from
70th.
a money perspective as a top
NFL
tier
is
market.
different because how they run their league, there's a cap, and there's basically the NFL. So small markets get a chance to win. There's hard cap. Like the NBA, you can go over the luxury tax to keep players. The NFL, you can't do that. Once you hit a number, you can't go over that. So every team has the same amount of money. No team can go over it.
See, that's fair then. Because in the NBA, I know certain markets. I would go by the money wise, like Golden State, Chicago, the Knicks, Brooklyn. We would be declared.
And like even
markets.
like MLB has no salary cap. So
what?
Yeah, you can spend as much money as you want.
Did not know that.
So that's why the big markets win.
The point that I was trying to make is they don't have. Not only are they not a flashy destination, but they have no history to fall back on to say like, come and be a part of this great, rich, franchise. There's really nothing to draw free agents there except Giannis. And is that going to be enough to get a second superstar?
They also don't have the money either to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah.
They've kind of handcuffed themselves now with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, who are both very good
Eric
pieces.
Bledsoe was handcuffed. Eric Bledsoe and George Hill were handcuffing them regardless because they was on 2 or 3 year deals anyways. So it's better to get one guy who's better than both of them.
Yeah, they also gave up 5 picks though.
Yeah, I don't know.
3 picks.
I think everybody was
just
just getting, excuse my language, but raped this year in terms of picks. So